Hello and welcome everyone to the next episode on SAP Analytics Cloud Training with me, Anubhav. In the last session, we talked about creating our first dashboard consuming the business intelligence functionality of SAP Analytics Cloud. By far in the process, we have discussed about what is business intelligence, what does it can do, what are all the steps involved as far as BI is concerned, and we have also were discussing about the functionality in terms of the use case which we have taken, and we also discussed about basics of data models, which are the types of data models and how do you use data models when it comes to SAP Analytics Cloud. We have taken a real-time scenario of a mobility company with the user persona as Anna Jackson, and we had discussed about the job functions together with the business story, and also we had looked at the mockup and understood the basic concepts of charts, data points. Then we discussed about the geomaps, tables, story filters, page filters, the concept of creating your first BI dashboard, applying these filters at runtime, measure and dimension input controls, R logic, and also adding the different functionality to our dashboard. Those who are joining this session for the first time, I urge you, please go back and check the missed classes by looking at the videos of the previous class. Every class till today has been recorded and the recordings are available to you as part of our training dashboard. You all can go and check those videos to cope up with the last 5 sessions which we had, out of which one was just a demo. So 4 session is actually you have missed, which you can watch through our training blog easily. And today we are in our 6th session officially. And today first we will look at the solution of the exercise which I've given to all of you to work on. We will look at the solution for this, and then we will go ahead and talk about the next set of features as part of SAP Analytics Cloud BI. So let me get started with the solution of the exercise. So before I start with the solution of exercise, I have got an amazing set of questions from Gunjan. Gunjan has sent me an email yesterday in the evening. Thank you, Gunjan, for completing the exercise in a very short time. So Gunjan has completed the exercise and sent me the screenshot. So this is the email which I received from Gunjan. Thanks, Gunjan. And you can see here he has created the exercise solution. Very good. Looks very professional, Gunjan. I hope you got some hand holding on SAP Analytics Cloud now. Together with that, he has sent me 2 questions. So our main intention to show this is to these questions. First question is, once I calculated measure or dimension is created, how can we delete it? I am not able to find any delete option for the same. The second question is, we have created dimension input control and dynamic text has been added based on selection of input control. Can we change the description of any field in the input control and the current value like sales underscore agent? But I would like to remove the underscore from the sales agent. How can we achieve this? Very good questions. I thought let's discuss it with everybody in the class so that everyone can get benefit out of these questions. So first question is, how can we once we have a calculated measure or dimension, how can we get rid of it? So I'm going to switch it over back to SAP Analytics Cloud, and let's go back to our Ann Jackson story. And what you see here is we have this discount field, and the same discount thing is also available in our dashboard over here. Yeah. So you see this is available over here in our dashboard. Now, how do I remove the discount from my chart? Now, the only way to remove this in case of an acquired data model is to remove this control itself. So this discount control which we created the other day, the input range control, we need to remove this control, because since it's an acquired data model, there is no separate way where you can go and find this field. Rather, you need to remove the source, and the source is this. This is the source. So I'm going to click it over and I'm going to say remove, and then you will see now it will get disappeared. But this has a side effect. As a side effect, now you see, since our chart was dependent on that measure, our chart got corrupted, which means now you see this discount order value has been removed, and system is giving you this error that the dependent column or dependent calculated measure, or whatever you call it as, a dynamic input measure or a dynamic dimension or a dynamic measure is disappeared, and because of that the chart is now not able to find the value, and it is showcasing an error, experiencing an error. So be very careful once you have something created. If you remove that, it has consequences on your dashboard. So you need to be little careful when it comes to doing these activities. Okay, so now if I just remove this one which is having an interdependency on my chart will render back again. But of course, since I've removed the mean calculated measure discount, it hasn't come, of course, again. So this is one thing. Now suppose I want to do an undo. Now you don't see an option to undo, so I'll tell you a workaround for now for undo is you just simply go back and say leave. So whatever changes you've done here on this dashboard will be discarded ever since I came in. So don't save any changes, go back and come back again. You will see your discount column one more time. So that's how you can kind of get rid of those. So right now there is no undo option within the story here, and control Z won't work. So be careful whenever you make sure that you really wanted to make a change, then you only save it after you have a stable state. Otherwise don't save, you can go back and then uncommit. So that was the answer for first question. Since it's an embedded model, today we're going to see an acquired data model which is going to be public. So in the public model, actually, you have a better way of doing this rather than removing this control itself. I will show you that also in a moment. Now, the next question from Gunjan was, can I change this name of sales underscore agent, or something label I can change? Yes, you have to change in the base. The base is this data. Go to this data, and here if you see all the columns of our data set, so we switch over to the table view for the data, not the exploration mode. And now over here, if you come, you will see these different labels on the top. You can double click on any one of them. For example, I double click on this and I can change this customer segment to customer underscore segment. And now my label will also change in the story. So this is the way in acquired data model to change things. But remember, this is again a change which is sometimes disruptive, as in, this can also have an impact on things like you've drastically changed the label, then your user won't be able to find this same label on the story. You need to make sure that both in the data set and the story you change it properly. So this is it about the label change. Also, I hope both of your questions are answered, Gunjan, with that way. Yeah,
Yes,
now,
Anu.
thank you. Thanks for completing. I was impressed to see, Gunjan. And tell me your first experience of building dashboard. How was it? Was it good? Did you like it? And how difficult or easy was your experience to build this after our last class?
Yeah, Anubhav, actually, the first part I made exactly as you have made, and for the next part, like it became a bit easy. But yeah, I played around the controls and I understood like how the control flows from one filter to another chart and all. So yeah, it was sort of easy, not that difficult.
Yes.
It was a
So
good experience.
that's our intention. This course is designed for people who have probably no programming background or zero programming, but the important thing here is to you have to go for it. Guys, if you want to have something in the life achieved, if you never go behind it, you will never have it. At least you have to go behind it. Don't be so precarious about whether my output will come or not. Your output can only come when you put some efforts. If you just keep thinking in your mind that mujhse nahi hoga or I will not be able to do, trust me, you will never be. But if you give some hands out, some at least you will learn something new. All your failures will teach you a lot. So you got to go back and give a try for these things. It makes sense because that's why I put so much of effort in these exercises to achieve the results. And that's the whole intention behind this, you getting these things up and running in the system. Anyway, let's look at the solution of the exercise first now as we start, and then we will look at the new feature. Okay, so don't worry, I'm showing now the solution of this entire exercise. So wherever you guys were stuck due to exercise, you guys will be able to follow through in after today's class. Okay, so I'm sure many of you would have tried and you got stuck, but that's okay. Let me show you now over here what is that we're going to do and how are we going to get these solved. So first of all, we need to create a new page. It's called advanced page. So I'm going to go back, switch it over to our story, existing story. I've already created an advanced page the last class, and we had just got this empty chart out here. I'm going to delete this guy. Bye bye. And we're going to create a new responsive story page. So maybe I just delete this page also to as in begin from scratch. And we're going to use our acquired data model, of course. So let's click on create a responsive page. And we're going to rename this page right away here to advanced. And nice, we got this page. The first chart which you see, we'll start adding charts. So first chart which we would see here, this gentleman, which is an order value per customer segment per product. Okay, so order value per customer segment per product. Let's add a chart. We got a nice chart, and we can also quickly go back and delete these title areas which are kind of little extra. And yeah, we got a chart. Let's move on to our designer button to builder panel. And you see the data model which it is using is our private embedded data model. It's also called private or embedded data model because it is only for this particular story. And now over here in this set of charts, if you see, we have a variety of charts to choose from. Yeah, so the one which we used there was actually heat map. So we're going to choose an heat map, and we're going to add our first dimension as my product name. So let's add product, and the second dimension. Okay, first let's also add our measure as a color, and measure is order value. And now you would see your chart like this. Nice. I will also change the background color right away for the story, so that we know we can get a beautiful coloring right away. Because at a, if you remember last class, we at a preference level, a story preference level, I've changed all the foreground color to white. Since it's white, you see our labels are in white color, which are pretty not visible. So I'm going to change the color to black, background color to black for the entire story. Or maybe this one, this looks good. Yeah, and I see it's visible. So let's switch it over back to the chart, and let's also change. So guys, I'm doing a little bit of deviation as per the exercise, not exactly following what we have out there, to just show you guys out there. Okay, now I'm going to come here and maybe choose this one as my color coding. Looks very lighter. Just choose maybe this one. Yeah, this looks better. And the first dimension was the product, and second one I'm going to add my customer segment. And that's it. This is your chart. Awesome, guys. Awesome. So you see, darker the color, higher the sales will be. So you see, this one here is 1.5 million, and that's why it's darker the red. it is in the wholesale segment. And of course, as you know, in the business, wholesale order book value will always be better than retail book values when it comes to business, because in wholesale you are sending bulk quantity, selling bulk quantity to the customer. So all the wholesale things are little darker red, as the other ones are little lighter red. Yeah. So this is the R300 bike product which is selling the most in the wholesale segment of customer. This is giving you the maximum order value in your books. So now that's one part. Let's add also quickly here. So we already added the number one, which is advanced. Number two is we're going to add a order ID filter, and we're going to add a date range filter over here. So let's switch it over to this button called input control, and that comes up, and I'm going to add a dimension and choose order ID, filter by member. So let me just come down and read the requirement. So create a responsive page, done. Add an input control with filter order ID with order value more than 15,000. Okay. So whenever the order value is more than 15,000, we wanted to see that. So before even do that, I'm going to quickly add a table, because we need a table to just validate if the data is filtering properly. Let me add a table, and in this table we're going to add order ID and order value. So let me add here this filter button to add order value, and in the rows we will say order ID per product. So show me order ID. So this order 1002, 1003, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And you see here order value 16,000, 14,000, 12,000, 11,000, 13, 18, 16. So you see this order value per order is visible to us. Per order, it is visible to us. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a filter. Get me only the orders which are above 15,000. That is the filter they want. So if you come back, you see add input control with filter on order ID with more than 15,000. The order value must be more than 15,000. You see greater than 15,000. So let's add here. So we will say my control value, and I'm going to add a filter. So let me just first remove this, and we can directly go to table, click on table, add. There will be, go back to designer panel, and we can add here measure, and we see edit calculation, add measure input control. Okay, choose add measure input control on my order ID, order value, click on OK. Okay, sorry, it's not working. Oh, we got it here. And now we're gonna go back and edit this measure input control, edit. Okay, it's not taking that up. One second, let me delete this. I'm so sorry, we have to add an input control only. Let me add an input control only. So I go back and add input control on my measure, where order value, and now here you see this one. So here the dimension context is order ID. Any order which is above, greater than 15,000. Please show me those orders. Okay, click on OK, and now I've got this filter created here. Let's change this filter color. So we go to styling panel, and over here we can change the color to blue. Yeah. So now you got this filter, and watch out the impact of this filter on the right side. You see now your table only shows orders above 15,000. That's all. That's all. Now you see our chart also got changed because of this. How come? Because we applied this filter at a page level, and as you all know, a page level filter impacts all the controls. So we go back to the linked analysis, and we're going to go back and say, hey, please apply only on the table. Don't apply on everything. And as a result, now my chart backs to its own position as it was earlier. And this filter order on order ID, basically greater than 15,000, applies only to the table on the app. Now I'm going to also double click here and I can change this label. I can say filter order value greater than 15k. So that's my filter order value greater than 15k. I have changed my filter value or filter label easily to show the user what filter exactly is this doing. So that was our input control with the filter order ID with order value more than 15,000. Now next comes is create a story filter button on UI to convert that to page filter later on with a range of 2018 and 19. So first we go and create a story filter. So we go to move button and we have got a story filter here. We got a story filter and I'm going to add a filter on my dimension. Date is also a dimension. So we go date and this time we choose date by range. So go by range. And now here is a range is 2018 to 19th of May. So you can always go and put here the date range. Yeah. Or you can also directly select a fixed date range between 2018 to May 2019. That was the requirement. Now, as we discussed also in last class, somebody was asking Anubhav, what about if I want to put last year or last month till today? You can use a dynamic filter. In the dynamic filter, simply you can go back and say, show me for last 1 year. Look back for last 1 year. Now, next year when you open this dashboard, it will look forward 2020 as of today when we are opening it, it's going to look in 2019, 1 year look back. Yeah, so that is the period. It is dynamic if you go with fixed, because here the requirement is saying it's fixed 2018 to 19th of May. Yeah, it's saying fix, so we're going to go with fix. So let's go fix and I say 18 Jan to 19 May. 18 Jan. Okay, there's no data on 18 Jan, so can't choose that. Depending on the data system shows me this range of blue bar. So maybe we go with 19 Jan to 2020 May. So it's 2020 May already. And I'm going to say 19 of Jan to 2020 of May. Click on OK. This is a story filter. A story filter affects all controls on all the pages. As you all remember, we have got two pages here. It is affecting both my pages. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this gentleman to a page filter. So I'm going to right click on that. Sorry, click on that and you see convert to a page filter button. This option I showed in the last class, but I didn't use it. I'm going to click on it now, and this will just give me a message that be careful that this is going to convert to a page filter, and then everything on your current page only will get affected. Other pages will get decoupled from this filter. I say, okay, don't show this message me again. I understand what I do. I say, okay, and now you see it is available at my page level. Nice. We can expand it a little to see this beautiful control, how it looks pretty. Yeah, and now you see your date range is available over here. We converted our story filter to a page filter. Maybe I just squeeze a little bit only to show this gentleman. The scroll bar goes away. So that's my date range filter which we added, and you see this blue bar indicates where it is. You can of course change a lot of styling here. Can change background color. You can change the line style. You see different types of line style options to choose from, and I can say line width is 6, and now I see how it looks, its border, and maybe just put in red color. This is how the border looks like. Then you have button style, you have fonts. All these properties you can really change in the styling panel. It's a certification question where all you can change the control border, style, and color properties in the styling panel of Analytics Cloud Dashboard. Awesome. So now we got this third requirement also done. Heat map we already added. based on a chart heat map type with the product and customer segment. Next is waterfall chart on order value per date. Okay, waterfall chart order value per date. Let's do that. I'm going to move my table a little down. Just move the designer panel away, and we're going to move this table down. Nice. And we're going to get our waterfall chart here on the right side area. So waterfall chart order value per date. So let's bring it on, click on chart. Easy. We got a chart as usual. I'm going to switch it over to a waterfall chart. So under which category will it come? It will come, I guess, under uh, correlation. No, let me check that. Yes, it's here in the comparison itself. So, and we're gonna choose a vertical one. Yeah, and then we will add our measure as of course my um, order value, and we're gonna choose here my dimension as my date. And also, if you come back, I'm gonna decouple this control. This is my control. I'm gonna decouple this waterfall chart from my filters. So I don't want to apply any filter. So I'm gonna go and click on linked analysis on my filter. Please apply this filter only on my heat map chart and only on my sales data. You also see this nice little icon which indicates what type of chart it is. Yeah, chart, it's a table. This is a heat map. This is a waterfall. So you see this small waterfall over here. So I'm gonna say please do this, and I'll say apply. And now it's only going to impact my heat map and my table, the date filter. And you see now I'm able to get 18, 19, and 20, all three data sets. So I decoupled from my page filter. This is how I decouple from my page filter. Maximize this. Let's change the color palette. So we're going to come back and change the color palette. So here we have a dark gray, and you can choose maybe this one. This is the one which is used in exercise. And now you see here it's showing 18 sales, 19 sales, and 20 sales. And what is the total sales till today? The beauty of waterfall chart, you can drill down. Suppose I select 2019, and I can now go to this button called expand date. So within 2019, the date dimension is a hierarchy, and this hierarchy is actually created with the help of the quarter, the half yearly, the months, weeks, days. So I can jump it over inside. A user can also do that in a view mode. User can say expand this, and now you drill down to only 2019, quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four of 2019, and that four quarter revenue contributes to the total revenue of 2019. I can go back to quarter three and further drill down to my hierarchy. That's the beauty when you have hierarchy, and SAP Analytics Cloud does it beautifully. So we have sales in quarter two for 2019 on June, August, and September. Yeah, and then we go back and we can select one of this, and we can further drill down till the date level. And you see I have sales on particular dates in the month of August, September, and so on. And I can also further drill down to last date level. So 29th of 29th of whatever it is, August, I guess, is the sale which we made on that particular month. So this is how exactly the waterfall chart can help end user to drill down, slice and dice the data, and visualize it in a much better manner without any programming or without any coding skills. That's the advantage of waterfall chart. Coming to the next requirement, we're going to take over it faster. The stack bar chart for order value per customer status. So now you see we see a stack bar chart. If I just go back, why do you use a stack bar chart? A stack bar chart is mainly used for the purpose of showing data distribution, how the data is distributed. So in this case, you see 2018 I had made some sales, but this sales was some sale was made by a wholesale customer, Some sale was made by retail customers and some sale made by the direct customers or new customers. So now here, if you really see, system is showing us this data distribution of sales. So who contributes the most in 2018 in my total sales? As you can clearly see, it is 995, this one, the blue one, which is current customer. They contributed highest in my sales, which means my existing customers are always rewarding me with more and more business. So this is the distribution of your segment per yearly basis. So there are now two things here. One is the date dimension and one is the order value, but this order value is then in a stack form with the customer segment. So let's go back and do that. I put everything nicely in this document, you guys can follow through, and same way you should articulate this requirement in your company. So you can use my document as a skeleton to also draft the requirement, which will be easy for you or anybody who has experience to implement SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay, come back, stack bar chart, order value per customer status per date. So let's come down. I'm gonna move this table a little down there on the right hand side, and I'm gonna add a chart here on the left side. Okay, let's bring a stack chart, and we can just add it as a vertical one. Let's go with horizontal for now. And now I'm going to add my measure is my time per order value. So order value show me per time, but please add the customer segment over here. Yeah, so now you see currently when I add this, it's showing me both of these things on the x-axis. It's not stacking my things. So I'm going to uncheck the customer segment, and now in the there is a way to add, I guess here we can go and add our stack. So let me just check, how can we add our stack? Customer segment, and we're gonna add it as vertical. That's okay. Stack bar chart. How to add this as a stack? I guess we can drag and drop this in the color. Yes. So you got to just drag your dimension and drop it in the color, and you see now it's stacking. Now, when my chart appears, I wanted to show it in expanded mode. I don't want to show in all the time till today. So I go back to this hierarchy, and I here choose my level, what level of expansion I would like to see in my chart data. So I just wanted to see yearly. So I go to level 2. So it will now show you the yearly distribution of your customer sales per customer area. So you see in year 2018, I had about equal revenue making from my direct and retail customers, and of course then my wholesale customers. Now if you see in 2019, they also increased in a proportionate way, the one which is in the retail and the wholesale, but suddenly there is a sharp rise in the direct sale customer sales in 2019. So you can see this is the stack chart, which gives me a clear idea about how my business is expanding with respect to the customer segment year on year basis. So what I did, again I repeat, I added the dimension customer segment, but I just dragged this dimension to the color. That's all I did, and then system has generated this stack chart. So please, to create a stack chart, your stacks should be added to the color section accordingly. Now that's about my stack chart as per the requirement. Let's move to the next requirement. So this was the easy one, table with the dynamic dimension. So now we're going to add a table with order ID, product, sales agent, and create a calculated dimension sales representative performance. If the sales representative performance, if the units sold by sales representative is more than 2000, then the performance of sales representative is high. If the unit sold is between 1000 to 2000, the sales or sales representative performance is medium. If the units sold are less than 1000, then it's low performance. So let me add sales agent name and product and order ID. So I'm going to come back again. So here we added product order ID. So maybe I'm going to add sales agent also, switch it over to the designer panel, and on the builder panel section, we will just go and add sales agent also. So this sale was made by which sales agent? So now you see order ID, sales agent who made the sales, and the product and order value. And let me also add quantity for now. For now, units sold. So in each order, what was the exact quantity sold by your salesperson? So you see 364, 427, 444. In each order, you are getting here the quantity sold. You see, in each order, we are getting the sold quantity over here. I am going to add a new column. If the unit sold is more than 2000, it's a high performance of a sales order. In one order, a sales representative sold more than 2000 units. That is a very good performance. He is kind of a good sales representative. If it is between 1000 to 2000, it's a moderate. But if it is below 1000, then the performance is considered to be low for order. Okay, we can do that. Let me add a new column here. We can add a new dynamic measure. So we can come back here, click on this button, and I say add a calculation. And as usual, you got a calculated measure section. And I'm going to say SA or agent performance. And now I'm going to add a little if condition. If my sales order agent performance quantity, so it's dependent on quantity, so we can say units sold. If the unit sold is greater than 2000, then it's a high performance. Else, again a if condition, if this is between 1000 to 2000, greater than 1000, and unit sold is less than equals to 2000, then it's a medium performance. At last, it's a low performance. And now I'm going to also have this format button to format the formula. If the formula is not right, it's not going to work. Expect parameter 1 and 2 to be numeric. Now guys, watch out. If I try to achieve our requirement like this, what is happening? The output of a calculation editor should be always numeric. But what my output is here, it's high, low, and medium, which is a character, which is actually not expected in a formula. Hence, the SAP Analytics Cloud is throwing me an error. It must be numeric. So any calculated measure when you're trying to create, output must be numeric for calculated calculation editor. Otherwise, it will not work. So this calculation cannot be done using calculated measure or none of these because it's a measure. A measure will always be numeric. Can't use this technique to create this formula. So then what is the option we have? We're going to add a new column, dynamic column, with another way. Watch out. How do we do that? So we're going to come and add a new dimension, create a calculated dimension. Now I'm adding, not a measure. And here we can actually add a new dimension because this can be non-numeric. So I can say agent performance. So never go with the measure because measure is always numeric. And here you can add similarly the formula. So if my unit sold It doesn't allow me to choose now a measure here in calculation of my dimension. So how do we calculate? No problem. First of all, let's switch here to the right click on my table, and in this you see there's an option to add a column, and now we can say add a repeating column please, and we got a new column added. No, this will also not work out guys. I have to delete the column. So how do I add it? Let me just remove this column. So based on units sold, I need to calculate the performance. So we need to add somehow some option. So let me add it as a threshold. Let's try this one. Yes. So you see, now I'm adding a threshold on units sold. And if it is more than 2000, add in another range. If it is between 1000 to 2000, and if it is below 2000, sorry, below 1000. So this is a threshold which I've created. Click on OK. Yeah. So I've created a new threshold, and now you see it's indicating here which of the units sold is green or red category. But that also I don't want. I'm so sorry. That also I don't want. I wanted to just show like this. If you see here in the table, we want directly showing a new column called low, high, and medium. So you see directly showing sales order performance, sales agent performance, high, low, medium. We don't want it to show this green, red, and blue thing. So let me just see how can we achieve that. Give me a second. I have to just check that.
We are using major base dimension
Yes, we
and
will use measure based dimension, but before that I need to now remove my threshold. So I just go back. Threshold is the next topic which we are going to discuss. So I'm just going to remove my threshold for now. And now I'm going to use another option to add a dimension, create a calculated dimension, and choose here measure based dimension. And now here we can choose create a dimension which is measure based. I can say agent performance, and now we'll choose here units sold, of course, not in APJ, all the units sold. And now I can say here the range values, so I can add members. I say this is a high performance if it is more than 2000. This is a medium performance if it is between 1000 to 2000, and it's a low performance if it is greater than less than 1000. That's our measure based dimension based measure, sorry, measure based dimension, because it's going to show the non-numeric output on the screen. Cool. So let's click on OK, and now you're going to get a new column, agent performance. Yes, there you go. You see here low performance. All of these orders, the agent performance was very low. Now if I'm going to go back and apply a filter here, I can also apply a filter on this dimension called agent performance, and I'll say show me only the high performance and medium performance orders. Click on OK, and there is none in the system. So maybe we're going to change our filter criteria a little bit. Just give me so we're gonna change this requirement a little bit. We're gonna change our filter criteria. Let's keep something which is above 500 good, between 200 to 500 medium, and below 200 is bad. So we're gonna change our measure which we our dimension which we created. So you can click on this button and you can say edit calculation, and now I'm gonna change my range values. So click on formula and say anything above 600 is a good one, between 100 to 300 to 600 is medium, below 300 is low performance. And the moment I change my range for that calculation, and now you see we got data. So we have medium performance 364 between below 600, and you see somewhere you have high performance 766. So this is how you can add the calculation on the system, a new measure based dimension on our table. So that was the exercise, measure based dimension. Yeah. So you can see I've written it also here, measure based dimension it is. The column should be measure based dimension. Come down. Last is dynamic table text and hyperlink. So this table data, if it is getting filtered based on the selection on my date filter, then you can also add a dynamic text. So we saw that in the last session. So if I double click here on my header of the table, I can change the data. I can say sales report data by, and I can now add a dynamic text. I can't add in a responsive page. I have to have a canvas page to add it. Otherwise, I have to just go and add a text from here. So maybe it's getting slow. Give me a second. Double click. Yes, you can right click and choose add dynamic text. It's possible. So add dynamic text. And I wanted to add a dynamic text based on my dimension input control, which we created for date, or it is using the first stories dimension input control actually. Just let me double click, remove this, right click again, add dynamic text. I wanted to use my page filter, which I have. Yes, these are also my input controls I want to use. So order value greater than 15,000 and January 1, 2019 to 29 May 2019. So the moment I change this value, now watch out. I want to only see orders which are above 20,000. Yeah. So come on the right, left, come here to the filter, edit, and make it 20,000. Click on OK. And now see this becomes 20,000 value actually inside. And now if you see this also become 20,000 and orders only about 20,000 is visible to you. So that's how the dynamic text at the table works. Now we're going to also make a hyperlink. How to make a hyperlink? So let's come to the table and we should be able to add a hyperlink. Here is an option to add a hyperlink and I click on this hyperlink. So it should take me probably to an external URL. I'm going to name my external URL as anubhavtrainings.com. That's our website, and label is Anubhav link, and click on done. Open it in a new tab please. Click on done. We are done linking with this. Let's save our story. There's too much of work we did, so just make sure that we save everything. All our changes should get saved properly because it's running on the browser. If you have an internet glitch, it can cost you all your story. And now you see we got this link here. Navigate to external URL. I click on that button or the link and I say Anubhav link. Click on this and voila, it takes me to anubhavtrainings.com. So I hope guys you enjoyed the exercise, how we implemented. I hope wherever you were stuck when you were building things, you have got an idea. Actually, everything is well documented here in this. Since it's a very big requirement for me, also sometimes difficult to remember where I did what. But yes, by following these exact things, like you see, I got stuck here with this measure bit dimension, but then I saw it here in the requirement document and then I was able to do that. So always refer the requirement document. It needs to be carefully articulated. If it's articulated, half job is done, and then you can simply follow through this. And of course you're not going to get a mock-up like this at the beginning in your company. You need to probably make something like the one which I showed in the last class. You should probably make that kind of this kind of mock-up first. what will be the distribution of data and how should it be displayed to the end user. Awesome. So that was our exercise for the last class. Now we are switching over to the next set of topics. So first question is from the last class was, can the data be updated automatically? Is there any way to update the data automatically? And that's where exactly we move to the model, which is either a live model or a model which is of type uh, a public model. We are not going to have an embedded model. We will have either a public model or live data model. So that's where you have a data possibility to update the data automatically. So for today, I'm going to show you the public model first of all. So how we create a public model, how do we do wrangling of data, and how that public model can then be used in multiple stories. Okay, so let's see how to create public model. So a public model in SAP Analytics Cloud can be of type planning or analytical. We discussed about the model types in last class, which also constitutes important certification questions. Now coming back, a public model of analytics cloud can be of two type. One is planning or analytics. The main purpose of public model is to allow data to be consumed by multiple stories. Unlike the embedded model, which is only used by one story. So an embedded model is used only and only by one story. Unlike that, we have a public model which is can be used by multiple story. Now public model can be created using three ways. There are three data sources. First data source, you can create a public model using flat file. Second is you can create it using data source. Third one I forgot. Let me see. So let's see how can we achieve this. So I'm going to go back and we have saved our story. Make sure. Let's go back here and I will choose create a model. This option will allow you to create a public model. Click on the button and now system will open three options. Yes, I remember now. It start with a blank model manually. So manually with a blank model, flat file or data source. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to choose import a file from your computer. And now I'm going to browse a file from my computer. Now guys, someone was asking Anubhav, can data update automatically? Yes, in that case, the model should be created from data source. What is a data source? Anybody, do you remember what is an RFC in SAP system? RFC? Remote function call, RFC, to allow us to connect to any another SAP system, right? Similarly, in an SAP Analytics Cloud system, a data source is an connection to another system. Now, what could be that another system? There are 600 plus type of another systems supported by Analytics Cloud, be it your S4HANA, be it your BW on HANA, be it BW, ECC, your BPC, your planning systems, your Google Drive, Twitter API, Dow Jones, you name it, it's there. MongoDB, MySQL, Oracle, DB6, anyone, you name it, it's there. All types, different types of data sources it supports. Okay, structured or non-structured, variety of them are there. So that is your get data from data source. Another one is import from file. So I'm going to first show you the one which is I'll use it as a data source. The set of data source connections, you can also see them here in the connection section. Okay, So what I did today for showcasing some of the examples, I have got another flat file actually, which is what I'm going to keep on my Google Drive. And from my Google Drive, I'm going to read the data and I'm going to show that data. Watch out, guys. So I'm using a temporary Google account of my colleague to store the data in a Google Drive. Let me just pause my screen and open that Google Drive. This file will be shared with you. Don't worry. As usual, in the study material, you're going to get that file so that you guys can also put it. I'm pausing my screen to open the Google account or Google Drive account of my colleague where I had placed the file. So what we're going to do today, we're going to just add a new file. Give me a second. My file is missing. I'm just going to upload that file. Okay. So I'll share my screen back again with all of you. So now you see, I have logged into my colleague's Google Drive account. Okay. And I have also got here my file in my local machine, HR employee dataset. Let's explore this dataset first of all. I'm going to double click. It's an HR data. And nice. So here you have the employee ID, employee first name, last name, employee gender, department, office region, country, location, employment type, age, position, annual set. This is the data I have in my data set. Okay. This is the data I have in my data set. Now I'm going to upload this data in Google Drive. And once I upload this data in Google Drive, I'm going to connect and create a data model, which is going to be public data model using data source, and data source is going to be Google Drive. What is the advantage? Can anybody guess? If I create a live data connection or a live data model using live data connection, what is the advantage you get? Yes, exactly. So the moment you update the data in Google Drive, the data will automatically be updated at a frequent cycles. You can decide the frequency. I'll show you that in a moment. The data will automatically update in SAP Analytics Cloud and then enhance wherever this model is being used in any story. The data will also update back in the story. So how will it the flow be? So you will have a story. A story requires a model, as we already saw. Till today, the model which we created was an embedded model. It was within the story. But now what will happen is we're going to create a public data model. And though this model is created from a live data source, we are calling it as a data source. So from this live data source, this model is fetching the data. So in the first advantage here is SAP Analytics Cloud. Uh, if depends again which type of model are you creating or which type of data source are you using. In case of Google Drive, what will happen? All my data will be acquired. It will be stored in SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay, so this one still is acquired, not a true live data connection, but my since it's connected to a live data source, I can acquire this data anytime. I can say please update my data automatically or please update my data on demand. But some live data connections or data sources can be so live that only the skeleton will be created. Suppose you are getting data from S4HANA. In your company, inside S4HANA system, you have 1 trillion records. Now loading this 1 trillion record to SAP Analytics Cloud is time consuming process, whereas this data is changing constantly every day. So in that case, again, you create the data model using data source, but this data source is actually a live data source, non-acquired. Non-acquired means data will never be copied to Analytics Cloud. So this boundary, if you see here, is your Analytics Cloud actually. On the left side of this boundary is Analytics Cloud. On the right side of this boundary, you have the other systems. So this is your system boundary. This left side area is your public cloud. So if you're doing this type of data connection, like this kind of systems, then it's going to be not acquired data, which means the data won't be copied to SAC. Data will remain in the main system. The model will represent only the skeleton, only the structure to create stories. At runtime, the data will be fetched from the source system. Now, within the source system, it could be from a CDS view, it could be from an OData service. There are multiple options to choose. We'll see that one a little later. But today, the one which we are going to do is a Google Drive data source. When you use Google Drive, it's an acquired data connection. Acquired means all the data will be fetched from the Google Drive, though it can be updated on a regular interval. Are you guys clear what we are trying to do? Is this clear, everyone? The functionally, is it clear? If concept is clear, trust me, it's just a matter of few clicks. You will be able to achieve it. Any questions here? So this one we'll see later. This one not today. Today we'll see the Google Drive option wherein the data will be acquired. So it is going to be public acquired analytical data model. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to save, go back, and I will upload this Excel to my Google Drive. So let's drag and drop this Excel you guys will get. Don't worry. I will share this data set as usual in our study material. You're going to get this data set. You guys can download and try with your own Google Drive. So I've got this data over here in my Google Drive. Let me also open this in edit mode in Google Sheets, just in case in future, I wanted to add new records and edit. I will be able to right away edit the data in my Google Sheets. Yeah. So here I could write more records in future. So by the way, now we come back. So this is my data in the Google Drive. Let's imagine Google Drive is your data source. Come back, and now I'm going to say get data from a data source. And now you see the options to choose from, my friends. These are all the options to acquire data connection or live data connection options. Yeah, I'm going to choose here Google Drive. Please acquire data from my Google Drive. And we're going to click on OK, press enter and select Google Drive. And now you see, awesome. So either I can choose a new Google account, or I can give a Google Sheet URL, which is public. So just in case your friend has a Google Sheet which is shared with you, you can directly give the sheet, or you can choose a Google account directly. So I'm going to choose a Google account. You can see I have already created this connection with my colleague's Google account. Her ID is Megha Smartx at Gmail, and I'm going to choose Megha Gupta. She is my colleague, and I have used her account to create this connection. Basically, it's a character in our story, another character in our story of Ann Jackson. She is the colleague of Ann Jackson, and she is working in HR department. With Ann Jackson, she has provided her Google account access to us to acquire the data. She said, I had put the data set of HR for the company in the Google Drive. You can connect to my Google account. Now, it just in case, how did this connection came? It came using create new connection option. So choose create new connection. And now it will open up here all my Google accounts available in the system. For security reasons, I can't show all my Google accounts to all of you, but it has opened my Google accounts in a pop-up, and I'm just going to give permission to that. So now you see it opens like this, and I selected Megha's account, and I say allow, and that's all. The connection will be created. Yeah, you can give some name to the connection, basically username or my Google Drive connection, and you just click on create. So I'm going to say new Google Drive connection, say create, and now its system is creating a new Google Drive connection. Remember, this is an acquired data set connection. If you observed, it's actually an acquired data connection. Though it's live, but it's under acquire. Acquire means all the data will be loaded from the data source in SAP Analytics Cloud. SAP Analytics Cloud is going to acquire the data from this data source permanently. It's going to store by itself. Now, I just choose this and say next. And now I can see the sheet. Wow. You see XLS sheet. Click on the sheet. Say next. Use first row as a header. Yes. My first row is the header actually. In my Excel sheet, you see my first row is the header. Yeah. is the header typically. Click on next, and now you see system is acquiring this data set. Yes, it has acquired. I click on this data set now, and system takes me to an option to create a brand new model over here. Awesome. It has got 179 rows, 12 columns, 12 dimension, and no issues detected. This is very important. Guys, it's not your duty to get right data. Yes, it's your duty to use this data, but make sure the data quality is good from the source. So no matter who is providing you data, it's their responsibility to provide you correct data. No issues detected. Now you can do same data wrangling options over here. You see 179 rows. I'll just cross check with Excel. Is it 179? Yes, it's 180. What is this one difference? 179 versus 180. What is this one record difference? Who will tell me? Exactly, this header, this EMP ID header is the count. So number of records which is imported is 179, which is correct. Okay. Now I'm going to come back to this, and here you can start data wrangling. So I'm going to join my first name, last name. I'm going to just do concatenation. So I'm going to come here, transformation, concatenate with a space, and there you go. You see first name, last name, and I can change the label now. So I can double click on this column and I can say employee name, rename the label. We did that. You see gender, department, you see office region, country, location. Just gonna switch off to the logs, and now you see all this data set over here. Now age is indicated as a dimension, but I will switch it over to a measure because it's a numeric column and we can calculate probably an average age. Another thing which you see here, system is detecting my annual salary also as a dimension. Why detected as a dimension? Because it contains this character data. So we're going to split this data. So I'm going to come back, transform, please split it placed on space. So my currency is separated. Let me rename the currency. So this is all the data wrangling and data slicing and dicing options which we saw in last class. Similar to that, now you can do a little bit more. So I'm going to say currency, and now once again come back here to my data set. I'm going to apply more transformation. So I'm going to say create transformation, and now see I can concatenate, split, extract, replace, and change. So I can say please extract number after first dollar. So after first dollar symbol, please extract number, and you see from this dollar symbol is gone and it has extracted the salary value. Awesome. We can remove this column, old column. Okay, sorry. Once again I have to do that. Create transformation, extract value after dollar, and press enter. So this is how you can do data wrangling. And now I can just remove this old column. You don't need this guy. Just keep it light. Keep your data set light. This is another golden rule. And now you can put salary as a label. So salary currency, we got it. We did a little bit of data wrangling. And now make sure this salary is converted to a measure. For sure, definitely makes sense. So now we got three measures: age, salary, and also, yeah, two measures which we got: age and salary. Okay, now you can also see data distribution. Suppose region data, if I go and see, there are only two unique values in region, which is North America. We have 154 records, and EMEA we have 25 records in the data set. This is how you can actually see the data quality and ensure that your data is proper. We have three unique office countries, and we have about how many? Six different locations, office locations or cities where we have offices available. Now that's my little bit of data formatting and data transformation, which we applied. Now, coming to the next very important topic, hierarchy. What is a hierarchy and why do we use them, and what types of hierarchies SAP Analytics Cloud has? This is an interview question. Types of hierarchies in SAP Analytics Cloud, and which case you will create which one. You can actually create both of them in any case. There is no hard rule that you have to create only one type. It's your choice. But I'll tell you the normal golden rule which we have to answer in interview. Hierarchy. What is a hierarchy? It is a tree data structure to represent data with its relationship to the parent. Okay, so usually it looks like a tree. So if I just insert, you're gonna see an option to add a tree out here. Something like this exactly. So this is how your hierarchy looks like. It's like a tree data structure. Okay, guys, this is our hierarchy. So you have a parent node, you have child node, child will have further child nodes, and that child will have further child node. This is our tree or a hierarchy looks like. SAP Analytics Cloud has two types or two ways to create hierarchies. The first is called level-based hierarchies, and second is called parent-child hierarchy. What is level-based hierarchy? Level-based hierarchy is actually used when we want to combine parent-child relationship between multiple measures or multiple dimensions. Actually, hierarchies are always created between dimensions, not the measures. Okay, used when we want to create a parent child relationship between multiple dimension. This is the golden rule. In this case, how many dimensions do you think we're going to create our hierarchy across? In this case, how many dimensions are you going to create our hierarchy across? Anybody? How many hierarchies are you going to create? Three: office region, office country, and office location. So what is more suitable type of hierarchy to create? What is the most suitable one to create? Exactly. Exactly. You're right. It will be the level based hierarchy, which is should be the choice. However, you can also create parent child. That's not a rule anymore. When SAP Analytics Cloud started, they did not allow multiple dimension in parent child, but now they are allowing with a workaround. I'll show you that also when we progress. So used when we want to create parent child hierarchy, the golden rule says between multiple dimensions. Now all the parent nodes will become an attribute. This is a very important line of a of the child dimension. So what am I trying to say? All the parent nodes will become attribute of the child dimension. What does this line means? This is a certification question also. What does this line mean? So whenever you create a hierarchy, watch out. System will what system will do? It will create all the parent node as an attribute to the dimension. Let me show you that. Now guys, when you wanted to do data transformation and slicing and dicing on the data, when you're doing wrangling, you can also switch over to the card view. This is another easy view, because if you have too many columns, it becomes very difficult to work with this table. So it's always a good practice to also switch to the card view. And here you can do a lot of things, like again, you can do data slicing and dicing, can delete column, add column, duplicate column, hide selected column. A lot of these things you can do. Suppose now I have an employee ID. I want to represent employee ID with its description. So I can come to employee ID, I can say add dimension attribute, and I say description, choose description, and I say this technical value is represented by my employee name. So that's how you do semantic linkage of a property to a particular ID. Suppose in your company you have a lot of employees with their IDs, but when you want to present data in a dashboard, you don't want to show those IDs because those IDs has no meaning. It's not user friendly. So that time you wanted to show maybe the employee names. So that's how you can add an additional description or additional dimension attributes over here. Now you see there's one more called property. Yeah, one more called property. So this is what happens when you create a hierarchy. When you create a hierarchy, your parent nodes will be added as a property automatically. So now watch out. What I'm going to do to create a level based hierarchy is to select my office region, my office country, and my office location. All three I've selected, and simply switch back and click on this button called level based hierarchy. Just click on that, and now the system automatically detected here the relationship between your office region, location, and country. Yeah. So first topmost node is your parent, topmost parent is EMEA or the region, EMEA or North America. Within the region, you have countries. So there are three unique values. And within the country, you have the office locations. So there are 6 office locations in total. So the hierarchy name is also chosen by system. You can change that. So I can say my office hierarchy. And now I will also can check this checkbox to generate 100% unique bottom level from my hierarchy. What does this mean? Which means combination of 1, 2, and 3 should be unique. Okay, that's what it means. The combination of these three must be unique for every record. Okay, either it's repeating across multiple record, but make sure this is unique. It should never have two values. When I analyze the hierarchy data, there should not be two values of same combination. So we can always choose that. Already our values are unique, so it's not a problem. You can also choose or unchoose. It has no impact because our values are already unique. Now click on OK, and now it says, wow, this is the line I was telling. The parent node will become attribute of child dimension. That's what system is saying. Your hierarchy name will not be editable after hierarchy has been created. Office region, office country will become property of office location. Do you remember office location is the last child? If you see this hierarchy also, office region is EMEA and North America. Office country is your Belgium, USA, Canada. And they all will become as a property of your child. Child is office location. This is what system is informing you. And that's exactly I told you. All the parent nodes will become an attribute, or I would say as a property of the child dimension. That's what system will do behind the scene. Click on OK, yes, fine. And now you see these here, the look at the representation. Now what happened actually? So this office location is now represented as a hierarchy. See this icon? It's no more the dimension icon like other dimensions. See, no more that. It's no more dimension. It's a hierarchy. See this icon? This indicates is a hierarchy. And look at the icon for office region and office country. It has become this dash. This dash indicates it has become a property of office location automatically. You can see the same thing when we did between employee ID and employee name. When we added employee name as a property of employee ID as a description, the icon got changed to this dash. Okay, this means it's a child, it's a property which belongs to this guy. It's related to that. So this is a relationship. So similarly here it's saying that this country and region is having a tight relationship with location, and that's why they were converted from a separate dimension to a property of office location. You can also see that here. Now I can select office location. You can see my my things have become a property here. You see, office country and office region has become a property here, and the hierarchy shows like this: region on the top, country bottom, location at the last. Okay, now if you observe data, what happened to data? It is leveled up in one single column called office location. with the dash dash dash. Watch out. I go to the data, and now you will see here my office location data is now become like this: EMEA hyphen country hyphen city. So this is my new office location column, where it is treated as a hierarchy. You see this icon also here as a hierarchy. It's a level based hierarchy. Everyone, are you clear how to create a level based hierarchy? So Balaji has a question. Can you please show how a dimension can be converted to hierarchy dimension based on other dimension? For example, if we have region, I'll show you that, Balaji. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I'll show you that.
Yes, Anubhav. Yeah.
Let me know if you are able to see my question. Rajshri has a question. There are no latitude, longitude mentioned. How the geo enrich this data? I will come to this later, Rajshri. We will create something called point of interest. This point of interest I'll show you in the next class. Okay. That time you can geo enrich this data. You can also geo enrich this data in our Google Sheet and achieve that. Okay, so please allow me to proceed, guys. We'll see a lot of these things in the system. Now there's a lot to come. There's a lot to come. It's not the last class. We're going to see a lot of things. So today we don't have coordinates, so we can't geo enrich at the moment, but I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, coming back, that's over now. Here I'm gonna switch it over back. I just save this. So now we have created successfully our first hierarchy. Now what is parent child hierarchy? Parent child hierarchy is nothing but it's a real parent child relationship, which is actually between two dimensions, but there is a workaround with which we can also create parent child hierarchy using multiple dimension. It's possible. I will show you with a workaround. It will be possible. So you can use any of the hierarchy you wish. Which hierarchy is used the most in SAP Analytics Cloud in practical world? I would say both. You can create any one of them. It's your choice. My personal choice, if you ask me, my experience last 2 to 3 years, it should be this one. I use this one more as compared to the first one, because when I show you this one, you will see it will give you a tree data structure which is easy to edit. It's easy to edit. That's why my personal choice preference is this one. However, you can create any one of them. It's your choice. Okay, I'm going to show you this one little later, not today. Okay, not today. We will see level based today. Now, what is the advantage of hierarchy? Okay, what is the advantage? You will see that in a moment. Like you have already seen advantage in last class in the dashboard, POC dashboard, which we created. The time was a hierarchy. So you were able to drill down to the dates, to the quarter, to the months of data, right? That was the main advantage. You can visualize the data in a much better way. Okay, now so far so good. We created this everything. Now we are happy with whatever we did on the data. We wrangled the data, we added the extra stuff whatever we needed, and we've got our data over here. Now I can now click on create model button. So till today it was just a data, draft data. So whatever you were editing was a draft acquired data from data source. Can anybody tell me what was my data source? Anyone? What was my data source? Google Drive was my data source. So I acquired my data from Google Drive. I wrangle the data. I do data manipulation, whatever transformation, everything I did it. And now I am happy. So now we're going to create a data model. Click on create data model. Now, one second, before I do that, a data model, you can also make a planning model. What is that you need to do to make a planning model? If you come here, you have an option to select enable planning. The moment you choose this, system will make it as a planning model. A planning model mandatorily have to have account dimension and a date and time dimension. It's mandatory for a planning. Also, you can have org dimension. So right now we don't wanted to get into any planning. Planning is a separate concept which we're going to start from hopefully next weekend onwards. So right now I'm not selecting this option. Okay, the default currency which SAP Analytics Cloud assumes is a US dollar. Now one more thing, this is my salary. What is the unit of this salary? So currently everything in USD. So how do I tell that this measure has a unit of measurement? So I select this salary, and now I can come here and I can also add here a unit of measure. So maybe we should be able to add that. Just give me a second. Should we be able to add it here? No, we are not able to add the unit of measure here, which is fine. I can go back to currency and check here. No, we are also not able to choose that over here to make that as a, one second. Yes, we can do that. So I select currency and I'll say this is my, this currency is my unit of measure of what? So you say add dimension attribute and say currency. So this column currency is going to represent unit of measure for what? It's going to represent unit of measure for salary. So that's an important step. And now we are happy. Let's save the changes. Oops, it's creating a problem. Okay, it's saying non-unique values. Oh my God. Let me just right now roll back my change. Just give me a moment. This is not working. I need to check that back again. So now for now I'm okay. Let's me create the model. Click on create model and now your model will be created. You say, have you finished mapping, editing your data? Yes, I'm. And what, when you click on create model, your model will be created. Okay, please create a model. So what you saw till now was a draft data which was acquired from a data source called Google Drive. And now here is system creating a model. So I go to our SAC batch folder and here we're going to organize everything. So we're going to create a model folder. This is a good practice. All the models in models folder, all the stories in story folder, all the analytic apps in analytical app folder. Yeah, then when it comes to model, you can have further two types of model. You can have analytical model and you can have planning model. I go to analytical model and here I will create my model for model underscore HR data. Okay, you can give a description. Got from HR director Mega. Click on OK. And now it's preparing your data model. Awesome. Are you guys clear line by line, step by step, how to create your public data model on acquired data set from a data source which is Google Drive? Is this clear to everybody in the room? Till now, so far, so good. Whatever I taught, don't think beyond it right now. Of course, you can ask questions later on, but is this still here? Is the flow clear to all of you? How to create a model? Yeah, please answer in chat window. It motivates me to give you more and more. If you motivates me, then I will give you more than what I planned for. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, let's move ahead. Now, good question. Someone was asking me, Anubhav, how will the data updates automatically? Watch out here, amazing feature, import jobs. So first time data set which you imported is come automatically in import job. And now you select this option and watch out the option here to automatically schedule and import. Click on schedule settings and now you see how you want your data in this model to update automatically from Google Drive. At what frequency you want to acquire the data, automatic updates. You want to do once at what time? I want to do once at 8:41. So after 10 minutes, click on save. Right now in the trial, there is a bug. SAP Analytics Cloud has a bug in the trial account at the moment. You see, it is giving me this. It was giving me also last week and this week and yesterday also I tried. So it has an issue actually. I don't know. So suddenly it is behaving like this, but that's okay. And you can also have a repetitive updates. So you can say, please update my data on every hourly basis, daily basis, weekly basis, or monthly basis. You can also have an option for start date and end date to choose from time zone and time. So you can always go ahead and choose these settings to update your data automatically in SAP Analytics Cloud. Are you guys clear? Does that answer your question of last class? How can we update the data automatically? Yeah. Yes, we have a scheduling feature. So can you repeat once again how the data update automatically screen came? Okay, let me show you that. I'm gonna go back. So you just have to select this record here. This is your data set, select this and then click on this calendar icon and then this screen comes up. You can watch video also later on. I will publish the video of this class as usual. You can watch that. Where do I set full data or delta load? So if you wanted to first get a delta load, what is delta load guys? It's like I don't wanted to merge my data immediately. I wanted to first bring the data as a draft data and then map the data manually and then bring it in my main data set. So that option is this one called draft data source. You can actually go and upload the file. So I'm going to go and upload the file. Let me just do upload file, browse the file from my computer, and I will go to my SSC batch session 6 and I say HR employee data source. So now I will get my delta upload or draft data over here, and this draft will remain for 7 days in the system. Okay, this is not going to impact your main data set right away, which is on the data model. Rather, it remains in the system for 7 days until unless you merge this. And if you want to merge this, you have to do it manually. So this is option 2. One is you can do auto scheduling of data from data source to be updated. Option 2, you can manually upload the data, map the data, and bring this more in detail. We'll see next chapter when I create a planning model. Okay, when I create a planning model, I'll show you this. Where do I show model as an embedded or public? So Anu, in the last class when we created story, we drag drop it directly to create a story. That itself is an embedded model directly. And today when you create a model, it is naturally considered as public model. It is naturally considered as public model. Whatever you did today, it's obviously public because it is used by all the stories. Okay, can we delete data from model? Yes, it is possible. You saw some of the records when I was doing data wrangling. There itself you can delete those records. Okay, there itself you can go and delete. So schedule option will update, refresh all the data automatically. No, you can decide what you want to do, whether you want to append the data, whatever new data coming, append as a new version, or you wanted to update only the data based on the dimension. So I'll show you that next. Please allow me to proceed guys, then only I can show everything if you allow me to proceed. So now here you saw draft data source, that was about delta question. So here this is a manual process, but I don't want to use manual process because I'm using Google Drive. So now next one comes is this option, import setting. When the data is coming, what to do? Just update the data record by record. So first record compare with first record, updates it whatever wherever the values are not matching. Second record compares with second record, source and target, keep updating. During the update you can reset the model. You can say just reset everything, remove everything and bump whatever I have. I don't want to choose that. Now you can choose option 2, which is append. Append means whatever new data is coming, okay, just append, don't update, just append everything, bring it blindly and append it. Option 3, clean and replace selected version data. So in this option what will you do? You will choose that what exactly is the you will choose clean and replace. You need to clean and replace selected version data. So what is data version? This is a planning concept. So data version is actually like actual budget forecast. Suppose you are using a planning model and your company, due to coronavirus affected, your company's forecast is changed. Now you have said that okay, we will not be able to of course achieve our yearly budgeted targets of our sales, which is obvious due to coronavirus. Nobody, no business has happened, and now I am going to reduce my bottom line of the company little bit. So then I can just apply this clean and replace selected version to only forecasted data. So my actual data remains, my planning data remains, but my forecasted version data will be only updated. Clean and replace subset of data. Clean and replace subset of data. Here you can give a scope that which exactly data set you wanted to change based on what. Suppose I only want to update male data or female data. I want to update only one particular department data. So you can choose clean and replace subset of data. So only for that particular department the data will be updated. So we usually go with update option. That's all we choose, and then we can click on save. So that's how you can save the setting on what by default it's always update. You see, SSC is giving me an error in trial account all the time when I'm doing it. There's some bug I think, which is fine. So by default it's always update option, which is defaultly selected for your data updates. Now, next one is called mapping and transformation. So here you can exactly see all the transformation which we applied. So when the new data will come, that transformation which we applied on the data initially will also be applied on the new data, and then only the new data will be ready to be merged with our data source. So that is what system is showing you, that the new data, all these things. So we concatenated last name, first name, we split salary in two columns by blank, then we removed the dollar, then we deleted the annual salary, then we renamed the first name and to employee name. All this will be applied to your incoming data set. That's what system is showing a summary to you. And last option is you can delete this data set. Now suppose you have a data set already imported. Suppose I have my friend who created a model in 6 months ago. Now that Excel sheet which they created is somehow misplaced. That Excel sheet is gone. How can I now take advantage of this data set which is already acquired by SSE to download and reproduce that same Excel? Okay, so you also have an option to choose export jobs. So you can say whatever data SAP Analytics Cloud has, keep exporting to my local computer, or you can also do a one-time export. Let me show you how this Excel sheet which I have here can be exported out. So click on export data, export as a file, and create a new schedule. And now I can select which folder will the data be exported. So I can go back and I say in my public folder of SAP Analytics Cloud, a Excel sheet should get created. I can choose record size. I can choose add separator to use it in Excel, and whether you want to export fiscal data or not. Select data. These are all the columns will be exported from this data model. You can schedule the reoccurrence that every 3 months or every weekly basis keep taking a backup of my data, keep exporting data to an Excel. So maybe right now I'll just choose export now. And watch out, I'll open another session of SSE. So just copy this URL, go back, open another session of SAP Analytics Cloud here, and watch out. The moment I run this export job, whatever data I have in my data model will be exported to a file. So I go to public. So in the public here, I don't have any file right now at the moment. I have everything empty. In fact, I'll delete this model. I don't need that. So everything is empty. The public folder itself is empty. I'm going to go back and say export now. So whatever data you have in SAP Analytics Cloud is now possible to be exported in an Excel sheet. Click on export. An export job will run. Oh my God, the trial has real serious bugs. You see, this is also not working. I'm so sorry, guys. I can't show this feature to you, but there is a possibility. The moment you run export, system is going to create an export job here, and that job will start immediately. And once that export is done, you will see actually a file. If you guys have a productive instance of SSE, trust me, it will work out. I've tried it. It works properly there. So it will export and create a new data file over here, XLS file. So whatever data you have in SAP Analytics Cloud will be exported and will be kept directly in that folder. Clear everyone? Export job, import job, draft. Are you guys clear? Draft is for manually merging the data. Scheduling is the option to automatically update the data in your model. Export job, if you have some data in the model and the original Excel data you lost it somehow, don't worry, SSE will help you to also export the data out to your folders. At this moment, let me take a break. My throat is paining, continuously talking. We'll take a break for 5 minutes and we will resume session after 5 minutes. All right, guys, welcome back after the break. So now you also have an option to notify automatically over the email on my refresh failures. So just in case, let's say somebody removed the actual Google Drive file, and because of that, definitely your import job has failed. So you wanted to get notified automatically to Mega that, hey Mega, you have removed a file, and because of that, your SAP Analytics Cloud Story is not unable to do that data updates automatically. Nice. So I'll also show you running an import job with new data set. Just give me a moment. I'll show you running an import job right away in front of you to update the data. But before that, let's switch it over now to the model. And guys, last class there was one question to me, Anubhav, where I can see account dimension. Do you see account dimension now? This was a question in the last class, you see. I hope this is answered now. What does an account dimension do? Anybody? Last class I taught you this question. What is an account dimension exactly does? Anyone? Do you remember? What does an account dimension do? No one remembers? This was also a question from all of you in the last class. Account dimension. Yeah, exactly. Gunjan has got fastest answer. Thanks, Gunjan. It contains all the measures. Very good. I go inside and you see right now we have only age as a measure. How come? But we had put other measures also, right? How come only age is the measure? See, salary is not considered as measure still. No problem. What we're gonna do now is editing of model. So suppose you missed out something, or suppose you did a mistake and your salary is not now account dimension. It's not considered as measure. No problem. You can rebuild the model. So you see this rebuild model option. Go again. I understand that the dependency will be impacted with the rebuild of model. That's okay. Click on OK. And now you will see we will get back to the same original screen of our raw data set. Yeah. Now here I will scroll to the right, select salary, which is considered as a dimension, and I'll switch it over back to a measure, and I'm going to say rebuild my model. Don't forget to press enter so that this icon changes over here, and I'm going to say rebuild the model, please. So that's how you can tweak also later point of time your properties as well. So it's not like whatever you did is fixed. Suppose you wanted to do minor modifications, you can always do that. So I intentionally kept it as dimensions to show you that we can rebuild the model again if we want to. Okay. So now that's rebuilding of model. And now once you come back, you will see your account dimension will also contain the salary, which is your measure. So it will disappear from dimensions and it will be part of your account dimension. Are you guys clear how to create a measure, how to rebuild the model in case if you missed out something, you can do that always. Another interesting thing, our office location is a hierarchy. So you see office location is a hierarchy. If you come down, the hierarchy will also be visible to you here. You can click on the hierarchy and you can reorder if you want to, you see. I can reorder my order over here of the hierarchy. I can add new hierarchy, and I can also see the data of my hierarchy. I can add new records in this Excel like view. This view will come with this button, switch to display and view mode. So you can also add new data set over here if you wish to enrich your hierarchy. Okay, can always do that. You can also create manually a hierarchy. For example, for position, I want to create a hierarchy. So right now both of them are disabled. Why? Because if you remember the golden rule, that all the parent node will become a property of the child dimension. So if you don't have a property, you can't create a hierarchy. So this dimension, now I'm going to add a property below, and I can add a property. So let's say, what is it? It's position. So in the position, I can say maybe they all belongs to CEO and vice, senior vice SVPs. So I can say parent position, a new property I'm adding. And now once I do that, I will get this option enabled, level based hierarchy. I can switch it over and I can create a new hierarchy. I can say position level based hierarchy LBH, and I can choose here my parent position. Click on OK, and I can switch over to position data. And now here I can switch here to data set, and now you see this parent position comes up, and I'll say everybody is child of CEO. Yeah, so I will say my director is reporting to CEO, my VP vice presidents are reporting to CEO, and my specialist manager and associates are reporting to my managers are reporting to vice president, and my specialist and associates are reporting to manager. So this is how I can create manually also a hierarchy, level based hierarchy. Now one certification question: if you create a level based hierarchy, is it possible to create parent child hierarchy also? Answer is no. One model can only use one type of hierarchy only. You can't use variety of hierarchy within one model. As of now, this is a limitation. One model can, as of now I'm talking 20 June 2020, sorry, July 2020. As of now I'm talking, this is the state. In future they may enable, so one model can use only one type of hierarchy. Certification question at a time. So either all your hierarchies are parent child or all your hierarchies are level based in one model. So now I've created this parent position manually, and I can go back. I can just save my model, and you can also save this up. Awesome. So this is how you can also create manually a hierarchy by adding the parent as a child custom property. I hope you are clear. The rule which I showed you, all the parent node will become a property of child dimension, and that's where you can also do things up. Now you can also, there's a new feature as of March 2020, they introduce is a graphical structural view of your data model. So here you see a graphical view of your data model to visualize and see the properties in a much graphical way. Of course, you can do a lot of things here. You can switch it over to the property, switch back, and then you can click on any of the model. You can see the number of members, properties, and hierarchy. The one which we created for example for the um, employee, here you see position, we have one hierarchy, one property, and 6 members. So all of these you can always do that. See office location here, this one is one hierarchy is also present over here. So all these things you can always see in this graphical model and see how they are related to each other. That relationship in a graphical way is visible to us when it comes to the graphical view of the model. I can switch it off, and that's it. We have successfully created our first public acquired data model from a data source, which is Google Drive, and it's an analytical model because I have not enabled the planning. Suppose you created a model and after that you want to enable the planning, click on this model preference button, and you can also enable the planning a little later. So you can come here. Of course, it's important to have a fiscal date as a mandatory property to create a planning model, but you can also do that later on. So you can see model type, and currently since I don't have any versioning data or planning capability on, I can see currently it's not a planning model. Okay, so now you can see here it's an analytical model. You can always see in preference it's an analytical model which we have created over here. You can all see, you know, different security options. We will learn security also little end in the course, so we can actually enable data access control on every single property of a model. And based on this data access control, it's not available in trial edition, but I'll show you some of the features in my productive instance without compromising security, how to use these features of security when it comes to the models and the data. Data security is an important topic which we will learn at the end of this course. Now, that's all about these model preferences. I'm going to cancel. And now it's time to create a story. So by far, our story which we created was having an embedded model, but now this is a public model. So guys, can you create multiple story on this model now as compared to last time? Can you create multiple stories? Yes. In last time when we created a data model for our story for the Ann Jackson example, there can you create multiple stories for that data model which you got? No, that was an embedded model. That model, that data was only and only pertaining to that story. But now this model you can use, I can use, anybody can use in my company. It's a reusable data model. That's the main advantage of creating public data models. Of course, we're not compromising on security. We're going to learn security features at the end, but this is what we have it here at the moment. Now coming back, let me switch it over quickly to the story creation. So we're going to create a new story. And the moment you want to create a story, system ask you what do you want to do. You can also see our template which we created the other day. We can right away start with our template, or we can also go back and choose SAP Analytics cloud provided templates. Okay, so you see there are some templates SAP Analytics cloud provides me to use from. Yeah, or I can create any empty canvas page from beginning, from scratch. Let me create an canvas page, and I will first have to choose my model. So now guys, do you drag and drop Excel like last time here? Will you drag and drop Excel sheet like we did in our first example of Ann Jackson? No. What would you do? What do you think we'll do? What is your gut feel? What is your engineer's mind telling you? Yes, we're going to add data, and then when add data, what do we do? We're gonna select our model. Exactly. Superb. You see this icon is a model icon. Just do that up. And now we switch over to our SSE batch one models. This, see the power of organization. You organized your things since the day one, you do it better. Okay, and now you see we have a model already created. We select that, and now our model is being used to create things in the system. So again, you can slice and dice the data over here, similar view, to create create things on your story. It's possible. Yeah, you can also go back to your story directly, and now we have already a model acquired by this story. So I can choose a chart, and we got a chart now here. We make it maximize, and we're going to choose it as a vertical chart, and then we're going to choose a measure as probably salary. Show me salary, and show me the salary per office location. Yes, that's what I want. I select the whole hierarchy, or I can drill down. I can select country, region also. So I choose right now office location, which is a hierarchy. And now see currently it shows me everything. Not a problem. So this is the total salary in my entire company. I can come back, and now you see this little tiny hierarchy button to drill down to level 2, 3, 4. What's my level 2? Anyone? Region. What's my level 3? Country. What's my level 4? Office location. So let's do level 2. It's going to show you region wise salary. How much salary you paying per region, EMEA and North America. Are you understanding the power of hierarchy, my friends? Yes or no? Is it clear or not? How does hierarchy help you to visualize? And now see, I want to only see, user want to only see salaries in North America region. Click on this and drill down. See this drill down option. How come this drill down option comes? What is the reason why there's a drill down option here, but for some time other things it will not come? What is the reason this drill down option comes? What is the reason? Because of that drill down option comes, because of hierarchy it comes. Let me show you something else. I'm going to add one more chart in parallel. Let's add one more chart out here. Similar bar chart. I'm going to add a vertical one with another dimension altogether. Measure is going to be same salary, but my dimension is going to be, let me choose dimension as, let's say, gender. Show me salary distribution per gender. Now if I click on one of the male or female, will I see a drill down option? If I click on male or female, will I see? No. See, are you guys understanding the power of hierarchy? What is the benefit? Everybody in the room, are you clear now how hierarchy boils down ultimately to the chart level? How it helps end user? Make sense? Okay. I hope all confusions are clear now. Click on this, click on drill down. Only North America, whatever countries are there, show me the data. In North America, you have Canada and USA. Then I go to only USA, drill down. Please show me New York City, Chicago, and Seattle. Clear everybody how drill down helps you. Everybody in the room, you see we are at level 4 automatically in the system. Show me all the levels right here. You see now here it's showing all the levels on a single chart. So you have all EMEA, North America. In EMEA, it is the total. Then you have Belgium and Brussels as city. Sorry, Belgium is country. Brussels is city. Then you have Canada, USA. Canada has Toronto, Vancouver, and USA has Chicago, New York City, and Seattle. So this is how you can see your total data is being displayed. Clear everybody in the room how to create things up in the system. You can switch it over to a waterfall chart also, and then you can drill down to hierarchy. So you see Canada, USA. You can further drill down to USA hierarchy, show me. And you see in USA you have Chicago, New York City. So any chart you can convert it to depending on your need. You can choose color palettes to choose from over here. Different color palettes you can choose in the system. Nice. Yeah. So the easiest one is, to understand this, the best one is the bar column chart. That's better. Okay. And I'm going to switch over. Don't show me everything. Just show me the one which I'm drilling it down. So I will go at level number 2. So show me at only region level. So that's the power of our hierarchy. Let's save the story as of now. And I'm going to say demo core features, SSE batch 1, go to stories, and we're going to create this folder called analytic story or BI stories. These are BI stories. Later on, we will have stories on predictive analytics. We will also have stories also on the concept of planning stories. So we're going to create separate dedicated folders and organize our content right. So our purpose is not just to learn in this training, but learn the best practices. I know for some of you it's getting little dicey and tricky because you missed kind of 4 sessions in the past. That's okay. Don't worry. Don't panic. Trust me, watch my past classes in the video mode. You will be equal to the level. We don't have classes on the weekdays. So during the weekdays, you spare some time and cover up whatever you missed till the class. Okay. Now, next thing what I want to show is data update. Let's switch over to data update now and see if I add new data to my Google Sheet, will it appear or not? So I'm going to switch it over here. Let me add a couple of records. I'm going to copy some records, and I'm going to add employee ID, new employee ID, 79 to, let's say, 86. I've got new employees, and I'm going to add some name, let's say Anubhav Oberoi, Sneha Patil, Jack Dawson, Peter Parker, Rohit Sinha, Rohan Mehra, Vivek Bajaj, Anil Ambani. All tycoons are here. So now I'm going to add my data set here as male, and I'm going to choose different types, and going to say region is now Asia Pacific Japan, APJ, and I'm going to choose country as India, Singapore, and in Singapore, Singapore is the city, and in India I will use Mumbai, and I'm going to say Gujarat. So I've just have this some data, I have some age, let's keep it whatever it is, whatever it is, and just put some data, and let's add salary over here, change the salary values a little. So I'm gonna add 50,000, 81,000, 38,500, 97,590, 85,660, 88,740, 22222, 99999. Okay, so make sure data is not in a wrong way. Make sure the source data is proper, and we are good to go. I'll save this Excel sheet in Google Drive. Guys, I'm saving in Google Drive. Last change is saved. You can see my sheet is updated. Till now, you see only two regions, EMEA and North America. If my data updates properly, what do you see here? Anybody? If I update my data with option, what will you see? APJ should come up, correct? Now I'm gonna go back to data and over here to my model. So guys, data will update in model, not in the story actually. So I have to switch over to the model. So I'm gonna go and browse my files, browse files, switch over to my SSE batch 1, my models, analytical model, and this was the model we created. We can update the data in the model now over here. So we're going to go to data management, and I'll say, hey dude, now I have got my new data set, could you please get that, update that. So you see my draft is also available. I can merge the draft, but I don't want to do right now. I select my data source, and I'll just click on this refresh job server using server connection credentials. Okay, just click on that, and now you see it's talking to Google Drive, contacting that Google Sheet which we have in there, and it's going to fetch in those extra records. Last time we have 179 records. We've added about 8 to 10 more records in the system. It's going to fetch more than 180 records and going to update my data model. You see now it has got 186 rows. 186 rows have been updated. So about 7 more rows system has got it. Awesome. You can analyze that data over here, come to model, switch over to the grid view to see the data set over here. So you see this is my data now. If you scroll down, you should see new records would come. So hopefully, yes, you can see here this record which has come newly. You see APJ India Mumbai. Do you see, guys? Our data is auto updated in the data model. Is that what you wanted to see in the last class? Today was the right time. I gave you the right dose at right time. No heavy dose of antibiotics in my course. When you get the right time, you'll get the right knowledge. Today I taught you the public model concept and creating separate model. This was the right time to cover this concept. If I would have covered this concept in last class, you would have gone totally confused. Are you guys clear how my data updates automatically? If you have a scheduling enabled, then it will frequently keeps updating the data. In case of failures, it can send you the email. Clear everyone? Are you clear? We have our data model ready. Just make sure everything is okay. Yeah, we don't have to save here. No, not needed. It keeps updating automatically. You just come back, and now in my story, I'm going to refresh. So just come to this button and refresh my story. You can also configure auto refresh of your story in every, let's say, 15 minutes. You can also do that. Okay. And now maybe I'm just going to do a refresh right away. And voila, Asia Pacific Japan have got my data in here. For the salary, I'm going to drill down. You're going to see Singapore and India should come up as countries. Wow. Within India, if I'm going to drill down, I'm going to get Mumbai and Gujarat. Awesome. Are you clear, guys, how SAP Analytics Cloud works with the public data source, data acquired models of analytical types, use them in story, update the data automatically from the real data source? The questions of your last classes are answered today till here. Of course, there may be more questions which may arise, which may not answer today, but when the right time comes, you get the right answers from me. With that, I'm done. Sorry for extending about extra 12 minutes of your time. Please go ahead with your questions if you have any. There is a lot to come. This is just the beginning.
Hi, Anubhav.
Hi.
Can you explain like what is the use of opacity? Like in the last class, you mentioned like we can change the opacity. So
Okay.
what is that
Let me
exactly
switch over to our
helps?
last story. So I'm going to go browse our story. We created it. Where we created this story? Yes, here. Ann Jackson. So that's the best way to organize your content. You can find it easy. So opacity is just nothing but the this bubble which you see, this bubble density, how darker this bubble will be. So opacity is the higher, transparency will increase. So if I go inside to edit mode, select my geochart, go to designer and go inside the bubble layer, edit. Please mute your line, guys. And you see opacity. If I make it 0%, you see it's darkness. You see it's darkness of the bubble, how dark, how shaded it will be. So higher the opacity, more darker the bubble will be. Lower the opacity, it's more transparent. Clear?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
While
you.
I was practicing, I was just getting like the system is getting the so slow. Like it got stuck. Sometime it got hang. I was not able to save. So what is the solution for that? Is it because of my system, my laptop, or it is an issue with the browser or something?
Maybe because I am using 20 gigs of memory. My system configuration, I'll just show you. um, so I'll just show you, I'm using 20 gigs of memory. In fact, more than 20, I guess. 24 gigs of memory I'm using, guys, with a 64-bit OS with latest i7 processor. This is my system configuration. I don't see any issue in terms of performance. It's amazingly good. For me, I'm able to work, in fact, parallel windows of SAC and work with it. So just upgrade your Chrome browser and try. Probably just try to look forward for upgrading your RAM. It's going to improve your system speed. Yeah, because I work always with high configuration because I also work a lot of time with machine learning and SAP HANA, HANA Express Edition. So probably in that case, I would need a high configuration system for myself. That's why. the reason, guys. So at least performance side, I don't see any issue as such with SAC in the system. In real time project, do we create public model connected to S4HANA? Yes, it is both, Rohit, depends on requirement. Like Ann Jackson got all the data in Excel sheet. So she created a acquired or public model with Excel or Google Drive. Going forward, if you want to get data from S4HANA, you can create a live data connection with S4HANA. Okay. Is XML data source supported? Yes, Rajshri, it is supported, but I personally never worked with XML data sources. I worked with BW, BPC, and S4. I'm going to show you all three of them in our course.
While you're in this sheet, is it possible for us to, for the discount percentage input control value, is it possible for us to set a default? And is there a way where we can allow the user to enter a value instead of using a slider?
It's also possible. You see here this number 4. You can go back and make it 10. Enter.
So it stays at 10 always.
Yeah, yes. See, I make it 50. Enter. Slider also changing with that entry.
And instead of a slider, is there a way where the user goes and enters a value, like kind of an input text,
Yes.
like
Yes.
get
You can create a new control, and now here you can use dimension and sorry, measure it is, and it's a discount percentage, I guess, discount order value. And you can see, don't create it as a range. Maybe I just show you from beginning. Where is that gone? I don't know where the control is gone. Yeah, it's here. So now you can enter only one value.
Okay.
No range is allowed. So you can say greater than or equals to should be there also. Equals to is not there, unfortunately, but you can enter one value at a time.
No, but I was looking for kind of a text box where the user can actually go and enter a value.
Okay, for you, I have a solution that's called Analytical App Designer. So there you
Okay.
can design an analytical app like a application. You can have
Okay.
drop downs, radio buttons, check boxes, text fields, input fields, links, RSS feeds. All these variety of things will be there in Analytical App Designer. That's part of your course. We will cover that at the end.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Here we
Thanks,
don't have
Anupam.
input field option.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you so
Uh,
much, everyone. I hope this was helpful. Yes, Chandrelekha, you have recently joined, I guess. You missed 2 classes.
yeah, today is my first class.
Okay.
So
How did you find it? Is it difficult to digest?
no, it's fine, but actually I have missed the previous classes, so means I need to
Yes,
work on.
exactly. You need to
So
work on that. Take your time, attend tomorrow's class also, and then next week is
yeah,
there. Entire 5 days are there for you. Daily one
yeah,
class also, if you watch, then you will be able to cope up. Okay. So be
yeah.
regular in the class.
Uh,
Trust me, it's so easy. You can do it. Yes, go ahead with your question.
Actually, I have a question. Just can you change the data source set in rebuild option? For example, suppose every month for a particular model, every month the master data or dimensions are going to change. And in that case, suppose every month we need to upload
No,
a
no, no,
set
no, no.
means
In that case, you will choose your update frequency to that. So let me show you once again. Browse our model, browse files, leave, don't want to make a change, and go to our SSE batch 1, models, analytical, HR, and here you will have the data up management, and you can just change the data update frequency to monthly, 1 month.
Okay. So in that file, suppose that the value is totally going to change. So in that case, should we go for a rebuild or something else?
If you believe that you wanted to just flush out everything and update completely this model, in that case you can choose whatever frequency, and then you come to this option and you say please reset my data model. So by switching this on, source is configured to clean all the data, so it's like delete everything first and then update my model with the newest set of data. So if you feel that you wanted to just flush out everything and update everything, you can do that.
Okay. Okay, fine. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Anubhav, after creating the story, can we do and can we go to the data and do the
I'm
wrangling?
sorry, I
I mean,
think my
like,
screen was frozen. I'm so sorry, Chandralekha. You were not able to see that. I was showing it here actually. I'm so sorry. So you see this reset model option. By switching this option on, this source is configured to clean data currently in the model before it can be replaced with newest data set. So this was the option I was showing. My screen was frozen, I think. So there you have the options. And in the scheduling, you have options to actually do the updates repeatingly every monthly basis. You can do hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. And here you can put frequency, start date, end date, and time zone. Yes, next question, please.
I was just asking, like, after creating the story and we found like some fields names are not up to the mark or something is not been
You can
marked. So
rebuild the
can I
model.
go?
You can rebuild the model. But remember, rebuilding a model has implications. Suppose I use gender field in my story, and I have used it in 5 stories from this model. Now, if I rebuild the model and delete this gender field, you know what is going to happen. Of course, it's going to dump all those charts and tables where the gender is used because you removed this, and now data source story is not able to find data in the data source. So be careful when you rebuild the model. Typically, this is a very critical activity in a real project where you have stories, and system is showing a where used here. You see now it shows that this model is used in this story also. So you'll get a list of all the stories here. So accordingly, you can inform the people who are involved, put them in a meeting and say that we're going to make this change to the model, and please let us know that is this change is fine and is not going to affect you. So you have to do actually a proper planning for that, that whether this change is going to affect things or not, and then you accept and then you go with the rebuild of the model. So you need to be little cautious and careful because people might be using in your team this model, multiple of them, and then they may get affected by the change you have done. Okay. There was also a
So it
question
will affect.
to delete data.
So it will affect on both them.
It will affect everyone actually.
I mean,
Those
like
who
in
are
the data studies class. Sorry, last week class we are having the story.
there it won't
So in
affect.
that
There it
case,
was a different data set altogether. That it was an embedded model. It was an
okay,
embedded model to the
that
stories
one.
that it won't affect. Of course, this data set and that
Okay.
data set is different. That was sales data set. This is HR data set. You can also delete data, as I was mentioning. Suppose I want to delete all the mail data, so you have an option here to delete all records with mail. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry for extension, and I'll see you tomorrow. Go ahead, Ravi.
Hello.
Go ahead.
So Anubhav, let's say I want to upload some files. Like, I mean the daily. It's a daily file upload. Okay. So the file name will be something like file name and date, like 20, file name 2020
No, it should
Okay.
not
So
be.
tomorrow the file name will be.
No, you need to make sure that the file which you are updating, it should be with the same name.
Okay.
Otherwise, this linking will break.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So I mean the dynamic is not possible, right? It should be the static name.
it has to be static name. Yes. for acquired data model or
Okay.
data source. But why
Okay.
would you do that? If you do
Thanks.
that in BW or S4, you would rather create a live data connection.
Yes, Anubhav, but the thing is that something we will get the target, like every month the target will be different. So every month, like I will get a new flat file. So in that case, it needs to be picked dynamically, right? So
It's
that
a
is what
monthly
there
update.
is.
So you can also do a manual monthly update. If it is monthly, you can take
Yes,
that
you can
monthly
do.
effort manually, right? You are an SSC consultant.
Yes,
That's where you will be needed in the company. It's a good thing, good sign that you are needed in the company every
yes.
month. Your job is safe.
Yes, Anubhav.
Yes. All right, guys. See you
Thanks, Anubhav.
tomorrow. Goodbye.